Hey YouTube, it's been a while. It's been a while. Toytown King here, and yeah, it's been like almost 3 months since I last uploaded a video on YouTube, and probably all of you guys were like, "This guy's dipped completely. Like, we haven't seen him in a while." Obviously, my activity decreased for a certain amount of reasons. PU hasn't been out yet. It's coming next month, which I'm very excited about, so I can actually start playing Gen 8 properly. The other tiers are just feel like recording, and the most important one is that there's just no time. I haven't had any time recently. This is like my last year before I go to university, so I have very important exams coming up, and obviously that takes priority over Pokemon, unfortunately. And I just haven't been going on my computer as much. I've just been focusing on other more important things in life now. Like I have very important things to do right now, and like people I care about and so much, and a lot more than that. But this video isn't about my life story right now, just somewhere where I've been for the last 2-3 months, and the amount of change that has been going on in my life is just been, I've almost been overwhelmed by it. But like, just I'm in a better place right now than before, which I'm very happy about. But anyway, the topic of today's video is obviously going to be Gen 8 PU, and obviously I'm going to be going over every mon I believe will be Gen 8 PU in March. And yeah, there's already a preliminary list that Akir has uploaded onto this thread, and there's just a little like inconsistencies with this list in my opinion. Like, I don't know why this is listed, and just some other stuff as well, but our lists are quite similar, to be honest. But yeah, very similar, but just some ones that I think will be PU regardless of what's happening or not. So yeah, we're going to be going into that today, guys. I have the list I've written down on hand, and if you guys basically want to see my list, I'll leave like a paste bin or something in the description to just show you the ones I'll be talking about. Timestamps will be in the comment section if you guys just want to skip to like a certain one I'll be talking about, because there is a decent amount to go through, and even though there's less Pokemon because of Dexit and whatnot, there's still a lot of mons to be talked about and discussed. So either way, we're going to be starting alphabetical order because that's how we do things around here, because it just makes sense. Let me just switch that. Yeah, it just makes sense to be covering them alphabetical order. But the first one we'll be talking about is Basculin, obviously, and Basculin, I appreciate Basculin because its speed is pretty good. Being able to, like, if you look at the rest of the mons that are NU, obviously Basculin is pretty high up, just one speed below Gourgeist small, which isn't that much used. Meowstic is an on-mon. Manectric is still going to get used regardless for some reason, even though it's pretty bad now because it lost in power and whatnot. And like, just being below these mons that are decently common. But yeah, Basculin's speed tier is very good, being able to outspeed all the remaining Silver Valley forms, which I think is a really good bonus for Basculin, and it might even be NU by usage just because it's a pretty good wall breaker, but it might end up being PU regardless. But yeah, Basculin has done the same thing for the four gens we've been around: Gen 5, 6, 7, 8. You start counting from Gen 5 obviously, but yeah, for the 4 gens that Basculin has been around, it's been doing the same thing, just being really good wall breakers. You know, an exaggeration because it's been like in the lower tiers for so long, but lower tier like talk, like not looking at the grand scheme of things like OU and whatnot, Basculin is a pretty good wall breaker if you really look at it, because of adaptability, making it stab strong, good coverage and superpower, and getting Psychic Fangs this generation really helps because Zen Headbutt can miss and it's just weaker by 5 base power. Doesn't really make too much of a difference, but either way it helps Basculin against you know, just having good coverage. And then Ice Beam, like, I don't see Basculin running anything else apart from like Life Orb or Choice Band, to be honest. And Ice Beam is to obviously just nuke stuff like Gourgeist, which will probably be PU, and I'll talk about Gourgeist later because we're doing this alphabetical order. And just take grass types, to be honest, because Basculin's special attack stat, which is 80, isn't really too bad, and Life Orb just boosting that damage. So obviously Basculin is one of our faster attackers that I feel like will be good in the metagame, unless NU take it, because even in NU, Basculin on paper does not look that bad. So that's why I think it might be NU, but I'll still say it's PU right now because yeah, and it'll be a amazing one in PU. Honestly, I think it'll be a really good wall breaker, being able to just beat his checks. Nothing like Tangela anymore to just completely wall it, but I still think Ice Beam is a necessity because you have grass types like Bellossom, for example, which probably won't be taking too much from Ice Beam, perhaps a 3-hit KO, but stuff like Gourgeist, for example, will be getting 2-hit KO'd by Ice Beam quite easily, and so with the likes of Leafeon, for example, which again I believe will be PU. But moving on to the next Pokemon, obviously we've got Beartic, and Beartic, of course Beartic's going to be PU, to be honest, but it's going to get usage in NU whether I like it or not, because NU will have a Bomb of Snow which can set up Hail, and Beartic has access to Slush Rush. I think it still has access to Slush Rush, I'm pretty sure, until Home comes out. Home is another thing that I can talk about at a later point, because that will change a good amount of stuff for certain Pokemon on this list, for example, like defog distribution, toxic distribution, etc. But yeah, Beartic will literally only be used on Hail teams, but even with Hail, there isn't anything that sets up Hail apart from like Snova. So Beartic, I'm a bit worried for your viability in this tier, but either way, Beartic's going to be doing the same thing yet again, just being you know, try and sweep with Hail using Snova, for example. Like, it's not practical, it's just not viable, to be honest, using the likes of Snova, for example, because Snova is a bad mon. But yeah, Beartic will just have to try and do something, I guess. SD Icicle Crash, you guys know what Beartic does, to be honest. Superpower, got some interesting tools in Body Press, like, doesn't really help it because its defense stat isn't that high either way, but priority as well. And Beartic again is doing the same thing, but I'm not going to spend too much time on Pokemon that are obviously going to be PU, because like, now I mean like obvious one-dimensional ones like Beartic that won't be doing much in PU regardless, because Hail doesn't exist and the Bomb of Snow is not dropping to PU this generation, unfortunately. So there's no more auto Hail setters that are actually viable outside of Snova. So yeah, not much to say on Beartic. It's going to be PU. Now moving on to BM, and BM is probably going to be one of the better Pokemon this generation, because in PU, just because lower power level, BM is actually decently bulky if you invest in defensive set, obviously, and analytic just makes sure BM actually hits hard, because it's always going to be moving last, and base 125 attack uninvested or just even slightly invested into is going to be doing a good amount of damage. Stuff like Trick Room, BM will be on Trick Room teams in this generation, and it's obviously going to be hitting hard as well. So if we look at an actual Trick Room set, obviously we're going to have Psychic here. Signal Beam got nuked from the game, so that's unfortunate, but either way, it can deal with stuff, ghost types, I guess. Shadow Ball or Dark Pulse, I don't even know. Energy Ball, of course, and then T-Bolt, probably its moveset, I guess. And it also has Nasty Plot as well, so it's always doing something as well. So probably gonna go max HP, max attack if we're going on a Trick Room team. 0 speed IVs with a quiet nature, and BM is set up to be one of our best Trick Room users. And we could use that thing that the new Trick Room item that lowers your speed every turn, Room Service, of course, because if we look at the mons that are slower than BM, I'm not sure if there's any relevant mons that are slower than BM that could be potentially dangerous for it on the Trick Room. But obviously we got the likes of Shinotic, for example, which I'm pretty sure BM can underspeed with 0 speed IVs, because a Shinotic is not going to be 0 speed IVs necessarily, unless it's a spec set on Trick Room as well. But not much other Pokemon are slower than BM that are threats to it. Like, it's never gonna really underspeed Shaka and Pikumuku, for example, but Pikumuku just gets 2-hit killed by Energy Ball, I guess. So yeah, BM is kinda gonna be quite scary on the Trick Room, to be honest, and yeah, I think this is gonna be a pretty good Pokemon in PU. But moving on to Bellossom next, and again, this was a kind of obvious pick. This is not getting any usage in NU whatsoever. There's a lot in NU that can just kind of just slap this thing up, for example, like I can't even think of any examples, but Bellossom isn't going to do too hot in NU, so obviously it's not going to get enough usage. Flareon is around, so as long as Flareon's around, Bellossom isn't really doing anything. And Flareon actually isn't that bad, and I don't think it's going to be PU this generation. But moving on to Bellossom again, it's still gonna do the same thing it was doing last gen. It has Strength Sap, for example, so it can do stuff. Quiver Dance, Moonblast, it's doing the same thing. And being one of the only Quiver Dancers left now, because Butterfree is going to be NU whether we like it or not, is a slower Vivillon, for example. Sleep Powder Hurricane is just going to be too strong for PU anyway, so I believe if it kind of drops, then it might get banned or something. That's just my opinion. But either way, Quiver Dance here into Moonblast, Energy Ball, quick Strength Sap, I guess. I mean, what other moves does this thing have to... Yeah, it got Dazzling Gleam this gen. Interesting. Do you know what's funny as well, guys? Like, I saw like Bellossom SD set, and its physical move pool actually got better. Like, I feel like it got more tools in its physical move pool this gen. So like, it has Leaf Blade, Drain Punch, Play Rough. Like, you could actually run an SD Bellossom set, kind of like, it has 80 base attack, it could actually work. But just something like to think about as well. Obviously you go like max speed, max HP, and then I guess modest, timid, I don't even know the natures that they used to run. But yeah, Strength Sap will always make this thing decent enough, and the lack of fire types in the tier outside of Heatmor and Silvally Fire, for example, Bellossom isn't gonna have much like trouble, I believe. It won't be a top tier mon, but it'll be something decent enough, I believe. Now, moving on to Cherrim. Again, I really don't want to be talking about on mons for too long. Cherrim isn't doing anything. Like, I don't even have to spend time on this Pokemon, to be honest. It'll honestly be a waste of time for me. So yeah, moving on to something else that will actually be viable, Crustle. Crustle, heavy duty boots will be heavily appreciated. See what I did there? But yeah, heavy duty boots on sturdy. If it takes no prior chip, it will always be guaranteed to set up a shell smash, to be honest. And it's still going to do the same thing. X-Scissor, shame it didn't get leech life this gen again. But Stone Edge, Earthquake, decent enough coverage to just hit everything in the tier. Fast enough to you know, just outspeed most Scarfers. And if you decide to go weak armor and get hit by physical attack, for example, then you just outspeed everything in the metagame and like start sweeping. So yeah, this is going to be one of the best set of sweepers in the tier, in my opinion, just because it's one of the only shell smashes remaining. It actually does damage, good coverage on it, hits everything in the tier, and yeah, it's actually bulky enough to set up rather safely, in my opinion, outside of the rock sweetness. And the lack of hazard removal until Pokemon Home comes out is kind of scary, so that's why I'm more opting to go heavy duty boots, so it's easier to set up and sturdy, so you don't get like one shot by certain things. But on the physical side, I don't think Crustle will get one shot, so I don't think sturdy is a necessity. Obviously weak armor is the better ability, unless that's not released until Home as well. To be honest, I haven't checked up on these things, but yeah, Crustle does get weak armor, so you can go weak armor pre-Home and still mess up some stuff. But Home will be out by the time PU is out as well, hopefully. So yeah, they said February. PU's coming in March. Home will be out, and Crustle will do what it does best, to be honest. And not much else to say on this thing, apart from the fact that it can also run what do you call it? Obviously, lead sets. Crustle has access to spikes and stealth rocks, so obviously it will be a decent hazard setter with stealth rock and spikes. Obviously, weak armor, soap focus sash, just a good suicide lead. And I think that'll be good on, like, very good, because again, hazard removal options won't be that good, but again, if you're trying to play P speculative right now, hazard removal options are basically non-existent, so you can try a suicide lead and you'll be greatly rewarded. So moving on to the next one, we have Delibird, and Delibird right now has rapid spin. Well, it'll get defog when Home is out, to be honest, but yeah, I just see this thing being a defogger. But again, it'll face competition with the likes of maybe Noctowl, for example, and other defoggers, for example. But yeah, Delibird has always been shitmon. Like, there's no beating around the bush with that. Delibird has been a shitmon, and yeah, it doesn't even have aerial ace anymore. Like, did it ever have aerial ace? I think it has. But either way, when Home comes out, it might get some of its moves back. It's got Brave Bird, but I don't recommend anyone to use an offensive Delibird. Again, not spending too long on a mon that isn't really that good. Now, Dubwool, a new Gen 8 mon. I think this is the first Gen 8 mon of the list that is going to be PU, in my opinion. Fluffy, with base 100 defense, with only one weakness, and the lack of fighting types that I see on this list, or my list at least, makes Dubwool a very big threat, in my opinion. It's very, very bulky. Like, it reminds me of like a Licky, or you know, the likes of I can't even think of any other normal bulky Pokemon that we've had in the past. I've actually forgotten like stuff. But either way, Dubwool, base 100 defense and base 90 per def is very, very bulky with this ability. I've seen Cotton Guard sets, which is honestly just evil because you just won't be able to kill it defensively. And yeah, I feel like Dubwool 80 base attack is no slouch either, and base 88 speed. I can see this thing being either really good. It has SD as well. Like, Dubwool is going to be a threat, guys. Like, don't get it twisted. Dubwool can run SD and double dance Cotton Guard with double edge, and unfortunately, it doesn't get anything to hit. Like, it has Zen Headbutt. That's all you need. Cotton Guard Zen Headbutt. That's all you need. Like, this thing will start breaking things. And yeah, you can get flinches, wild charge as well. Like, I'm very excited to try out this one, to be honest, because it actually doesn't look that bad, you know. Like, I can see this one being good in PU. But yeah, moving on to Dusknoir, and obviously Dusknoir has not been that good of a one in what do you call it, PU or any lower tier for ever, to be honest. Any new tools Dusknoir got this generation? Darkest Lariat, which is pretty cool, but either way, it's going to be doing the same thing that it's been doing last time, Will-O-Wisp, or being a slow offensive attacker. Again, Ghost Stab is pretty much non-existent, so I guess you can run Darkest Lariat. Shadow Sneak is your best stab, let's be serious here. It can also set up Trick Room as well, and Taunt potentially. Its special move pool is better than its physical move pool. Please end my suffering. But yeah, again, Dusknoir, I don't think this one will be that bad, just considering the lower power level. Pressure, again, is a good ability. Like this, I can tell this will be like a mid-tier Pokemon in PU just because of the lower power level. Like, you can't actually say Dusknoir will be bad this generation. I don't think it will be bad. But yeah, not much to say on Dusknoir here. But yeah, new tool and Darkest Lariat will make it a decently more stronger, a physical attacker, just with stronger moves, I guess. But yeah, moving on to Glaceon. And Glaceon, I think Specs Glaceon is like one of the most threatening Pokemon that we could have as a freaking special attacker, because like the ones that we've been talking about have not been special attackers outside of Beheeyem, for example, and Bellossom. But yeah, Glaceon is very, very scary for several reasons. The fact that I don't see much ice resist on my list outside of stuff like Lapras. Heatmor will probably get killed by Ice Beam, I won't lie to you, and Quillfish as well, and some other stuff as well. Doesn't matter because of water resist, because it does have freeze dry as well. So the combination of Ice Beam and freeze dry just make Glaceon a huge threat, to be honest. Again, evolutions move pools aren't good whatsoever. So I mean, you have double ice stab with Shadow Ball and Wish, I guess, because that's the only thing you really want to be running. And base 65 speed, you're outspeeding pretty much all the defensive ones that we do have in the tier, which is very nice. Outspeeding the other water types that we have in the tier as well, like Wishy Washy, Wishcash. Now outspeeding Basculin, but Glaceon will actually take a hit from Basculin and just one-shot it with freeze dry. So yeah, Glaceon being the ice type with the more all-rounded defenses out of the evolutions of base 110 defense and base 95 special defense, like Glaceon can take hits if it's being outsped and then hit back even harder. So yeah, Glaceon, do not underestimate Glaceon, please. Like, ice resists are basically not here because of freeze dry, and like the lack of steel types that I see on this list as well. Like, I see freaking Stunfisk-G on the list, but that's a ground type as well, so you're getting to get killed by Ice Beam as well. But yeah, Glalie, again, hazards are very coveted now. I believe hazards are very coveted now, especially with the limited options of hazard control. So obviously Glalie can set up spikes, and is actually one of the fastest spikers. Obviously base 80 base speed. I said base 80 base speed. I'm actually so tapped. But yeah, Taunt obviously to stop some other mons. Again, another suicide lead that I see. Shame has a useless ability, but yeah, just go for the boom if it does get explosion. I don't see explosion. Did it lose explosion? What the hell? That's very weird. But it'll get this stuff back in home, to be honest. But yeah, Glalie's only use will be Spiker. That's all I see for it. But yeah, Gothitelle, on the other hand, I don't see Gothitelle doing much, because again, you can't use Shadow Tag in PE, obviously, because they banned it to Ubers. But either way, This thing is just going to be outclassed by BM and Silver Valley Psychic in every single department. Offensive, defensively, like Gothitelle doesn't really do much, honestly. But competitive would be interesting to stop like the defog that will come around. But again, I don't see this mon getting used that much whatsoever. So yeah, moving on. We're on to Gourgeist, and Gourgeist has 4 forms, obviously. Gourgeist large, I don't see this getting used. Gourgeist regular, on the other hand, it lost Z Trickle Treat, but the thing is with Gourgeist now, it does get Power Whip now. So, I mean, it doesn't have to rely on Seed Bomb, and based on the attack, I could see a more offensive Gourgeist being used now. Like, Gourgeist Small and regular Gourgeist, of course, as more offensive mons now, because, again, Shadow Sneak. Yeah, this thing be better, definitely better, because of Power Whip is a more threat now, to be honest. It's more threatening now. And ability, if risk, I mean, useless abilities if you ask me, but either way, it even gets Nasty Plot now, but the shame its special attack is not that good. But I guess someone will probably try Nasty Plot Gourgeist, because the special move pool honestly isn't too shabby. What do you get if you go Modest on this thing? Modest, you reach 236, so at +2 you get 472 with decent coverage. I mean, ghost types are just better now because of lack of pursuit. So dark types, which I don't even think there's much dark types I can see on this list. Yeah, pursuit is gone, so Gourgeist can really just spam ghost type attacks. And I mean, you could try a freaking Nasty Plot set. I'm just saying physical looks a bit better, but the coverage that the special set has is very, very nice. Looking at Gourgeist Small, again, having the best speed tail of all the Gourgeist, is being able to outspeed Basculin by 1. The Silver Valley forms slightly weaker than Gourgeist normal size, but again, all of them got Power Whip now, so this thing is much more threatening now. Again, has Gourgeist ends bulk, but just faster, I guess. So Gourgeist XL, on the other hand, will be the more defensive set, obviously, with Will-O-Wisp, and it'll just do the same thing it's done all this time. And Leech Seed, all those shenanigans, you guys know what Gourgeist XL does. But yeah, moving on to Grapploct. Now, Grapploct was not on the kid's preliminary list, and I honestly don't know why. Why would you want to use Grapploct when Throw exists, for example? And Throw will probably be PU as well. So I don't see Grapploct being NU whatsoever. But speaking about Grapploct, for example, Limber and Technician. Now, what Grapploct does best, and the sets that I've seen, obviously, Octolock, its signature move, being able to lock in your opponent and drop their defenses every single turn, plus Bulk Up. Now, this looks like a very scary set, I won't lie to you, but not having coverage to hit ghost types kind of sucks. I mean, like, super effectively at least. No knockoff, nothing like that. But again, if there's no ghost types, this thing kind of just goes in, I suppose. You could run a phase-in set as well, but again, Throw probably just does this better because Throw is much more bulkier. But trying a new mon, especially with a signature move that just lowers defenses, this will probably be like a noob trap, to be honest. I don't see this getting used over Throw whatsoever. Now, moving on to Greedent. And Greedent here, I don't know, like, people think this is good just because it gets Belly Drum, but how is this going to be good with 20 base speed? And obviously you could say just run on Trick Room, but Trick Room has limited turns, and especially with a mon that has no priority, like not even quick attack, it doesn't get quick attack. So I just don't think Belly Drum will be that good of a set. It does get Swords Dance though, so I'll give it that. Swords Dance, you can run a bulky max HP max attack set because it does have 120 base HP, so it's decently bulky, alongside 95 base defense and 75 base speed def. Its coverage options are obviously its normal stab is non-existent. Facade, I mean Facade, I guess. Excuse me. Psychic Fangs is always nice. They just liked giving out Psychic Fangs this generation, to be fair, and I thank it for that because it will be able to hit Throw, for example, for super effective damage and the fighting types. But whether or not it lives a hit from them is something to be like desired. But again, decent move pool here for physical. But yeah, I don't think Brutal Swing, I guess, to hit ghost types. Give me a second. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, I don't think Belly Drum's a good set. This either runs SD or whatever other set. It has Cheek Pouch though, so Cheek Pouch Recycle. Does it have Recycle? Does it do the Dene? It does Stuffed Cheeks. Oh yeah, that move. Yeah, this thing can actually run a decent amount of sets, to be honest. You can run the Stuffed Cheeks thing, boost your defense by 2 stages, go for like Spit Death and just try and sweep, I guess. And Super Fang as well, just being a more defensive mon that can just break like defensive cores. Yeah, this won't be that bad, to be honest. But yeah, Heatmor time. Being want to do any fire types, especially with Fire Lash to just break things. I think Heatmor got some new tools this gen. Someone was telling me Heatmor got some new tools this gen. But either way, Heatmor's gonna be doing the same thing. Fire Lash, Sucker Punch, Giga Drain, obviously mixed attacker set so you don't get walled by water types, for example. And then yeah, Heatmor does the same thing it's been doing for about since Gen 5, and yeah, not much to say on Heatmor yet again, but yeah, Heatmor will be a decent Pokemon. But now, what's next on the list? Lapras. Okay, so if Basculin falls to the tier, I think this could potentially be one of the best Basculin checks if it's not running Superpower, because you always live 1 hit, you resist, no, not even resist, you have an immunity to its water liquidation, you can heal off it, and then you just click Freeze Dry, for example. Now, again, Lapras will be used as a defensive mon. Fortunately, no recovery apart from like Life Dew, but Life Dew in singles is honestly awful. Doesn't heal for anything, guys, not for nothing. But yeah, outside of that, obviously Lapras has access to Dragon Dance. Did they get anything new this gen? I mean, it has Waterfall, Mega Horn, I guess, like just coverage. Mega Horn and Ice Shard. Like, you have no Ice Stab attacks you utilize. Like, Waterfall is the best thing you have alongside Leftovers. Lapras can be one of other setup sweepers that will be decent enough, I suppose. Just go Adamant, and yeah, it'll get stuff done. Now, Leafeon here. Leafeon. Sun teams could probably make a return with Liepard getting Prankster again when home comes out. But yeah, Leafeon, it has Solar Blade, I think. Yeah, it has Solar Blade. So like, if you want to try like a Solar Blade breaking set like Shiftry does in RU, then yeah, you'll get stuff done with SD. Like, when Sun like becomes a thing with like, because we don't have any auto setters unfortunately, but we can just set up Sun with Heat Rock, Sunny Day. It has Solar Blade. It lost knockoff this gen, but when home comes out, it'll get it back. And what else does that? Double Edge. So when knockoff comes back, then that will be the last slot. And obviously Leafeon is a fast mon as well, base 95 speed. Not really caring about stuff like speed time with certain Silvally forms, especially ones that will probably get used a lot, that will have a good matchup against, such as Silvally Ground, Silvally Water. That probably won't even be running max speed, to be fair, because it'll be taking a more defensive role. But yeah, Leafeon will be a good mon. Liepard, as I just said, when Prankster comes back, it will set up Sunny Day again. But in terms of Liepard right now, or any other potential sets Liepard can run, obviously you have Nasty Plot Copycat, for example, with Dark Pulse and whatnot. And yeah, that's all Liepard's going to be doing. Choice Band sets could probably make a return with Play Rough, Knockoff when that comes back again. Seed Bomb, I guess. Gunk Shot as well. I think Gunk Shot is something new now to hit fairy types, which I pretty much appreciate, you know, because, and U-turn. So yeah, Liepard base 106 speed tier. Yeah, Liepard having one of the better speed tiers, outspeeding the likes of Basculin, Silvally forms. Yeah, Liepard will get a lot done. Liepard will get a lot done with a banded set. On Burden, obviously you could potentially run the Electric Seed with Pincurchin, or however you pronounce the name. Double your speed with On Burden and just outspeed everything in the tier, plus do Nasty Plot shenanigans. So yeah, Liepard won't be bad. Now Ludicolo, how's this thing gonna be NU, please? Unless, I haven't seen rain teams, like Dreadnought and Ludicolo could get used, but again, I think Ludicolo could drop. Again, they'll do the same thing, set up Rain Dance, Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, and Focus Blast, I guess. yeah, just to hit other stuff. What else did it used to run? I think that's all it ran, to be honest. Or double water stab at this point. Yeah, Ludicolo is doing the same thing, and it'll be doing the same thing quite well. Lunatone. Did you get anything new this gen to potentially help? Nasty Plot, yes, they got Nasty Plot, so that will change things a bit, to be fair. So double dance, stab with the likes of Power Gem and Psychic, or we'll just go Nasty Plot 3 attacks. Now, Lunatone's speed tier isn't too bad. Obviously, Basculin's a threat, priority, and other stuff can outspeed you. Like I have to search up other Pokemon with similar speed tiers. Your speed tying with the likes of Stonjourner. Nothing else here really threatens. Like, nothing else here will be NU by usage outside of like Rotom-Fan, for example, but that never kills you with any attack, and you threaten it with Power Gem. So yeah, Lunatone's kind of uncontested right now. Grassnot again, if you want to go Nasty Plot 3 attacks with Psychic or Psy Shock, depending on what you want to use. But yeah, Lunatone's special coverage is very solid, and Nasty Plot now, it can actually be a good setup sweeper, and especially with Rock Polish to do double dance sets. So Lunatone actually looks semi-viable in PU now, so I'm very happy about that. And alongside, you could run Rocker, but I guess Soul Turn, I said Soul Turn, Soul Rock is more, you know, fitted for Stealth Rocker, but again, you can run Stealth Rock on this. Well, now Manectric, you're not staying in NU. Number 1, Jolteon exists. Number 2, you lost it in power. Not much else to talk about here. Choice Scarf sets, again, will probably be around. Shame it lost it in power because it just gets walled by ground types forever now. It's not like Raichu, which has Grass Knot, and not like Jolteon that has Shadow Ball. Literally, all Manectric has going for it now is the Fire move with Overheat or Flamethrower, depending on which one you use. Thunderbolt and Switcheroo. This is the best thing Manectric has going for it right now. And again, I don't think it'll be that good of a mon outside of its speed tier. Damage wise, I mean Raichu's just a better electric mon. Just use Raichu. Please, just use Raichu. Raichu's actually looking pretty good this gen. But yeah, Manectric is pretty bad right now because of you know, the hidden power loss. Now, Maractus, I guess Suicide Spiker yet again. Does it get T-Spikes? No, it doesn't. But again, Suicide Spiker with options, tools. I know, again, base 60 speed isn't too bad, and 86 base attack. But outside of Spiker, if you're running a Sun team, for example, with Chlorophyll, obviously it has, you could go Solar Beam, obviously. Solar Beam with, but a special move pool is honestly just lacking. So I guess you could go physical, I guess, but that's just outclassed by Leafeon. But at least you have Wood Hammer, P-Jab as well, Throat Chop, Sucker Punch. But again, this is going to be facing major competition with Leafeon. Leafeon has SD, Leafeon has a higher attack stat, and Leafeon is faster. So I mean, you could just stick to a special set, but again, the special move pool is just, there's just no coverage whatsoever. So Maractus will be a decent Sunmon and a decent Spiker. That's the most it has going for it. Now, Mawile, I mean, Mawile will just be a defensive like Rocker, I guess. Steel Fairy is still an amazing typing, all in a good amount of types in the tier. Will handle Basculin decently well, I suppose. Not decently well, you don't really do much to Basculin back, but I mean, you could handle. What does Mawile actually handle? His typing is amazing, but his stats are just so underwhelming, and like his HP is underwhelming. You'll probably get 2 killed by Specs Glaceon or Ice Beam. I mean, if you don't want to go the defensive set, obviously you can go Sheer Force if that's. I mean, I keep thinking that Home isn't out. Home will be out by the time everything like PU's out. So Sheer Force again, you can go Iron Head, Play Rough. They're both boosted by Sheer Force, Sucker Punch, and I mean Ferocity won't be in the tier, so it's Fire Coverage and Necessity. The last move is pretty much down to you, to be fair. Stone Edge, I guess, Stealth Rock. I mean, the last move is kind of customizable because you don't have to worry about stuff like Ferocity walling you. But yeah, max attack, max speed, and Mawile is going to be a decent slow wall breaker, but being able to outspeed the likes of I mean, it's not that fast in the first place, but I mean, base 50, your speed time of Perseeker or Berserker, Yeah, Berserker, this sounds right to me. Yeah, do you have anything to hit? I mean, you could go Fire Blast to hit that to not get like speed tied, because that thing is most likely gonna like 2-hit KO you or even 1-hit KO you with something, because of Tough Claws or its Steely Spirit ability, which boosts its Steel Stab. But yeah, Meowstic is next, and to be honest, I really don't want to be speaking about Meowstic. I mean, it's a screener. I mean, it'll always do screens because it'll have Prankster released at the time, like Clay Prankster. I mean, that's the niche that Meowstic has been given since Generation 6. Not much else you should be doing on this Pokemon, to be honest. Next, Meowstic F. You can stop Defog, I guess, with competitive. It has Nasty Plot. Did it have Nasty Plot last gen? I don't even remember, but I mean, you could run a Nasty Plot set. But again, outclassed by Beheeyem, outclassed by Silver Valley Psychic, outclassed by pretty much every other Nasty Plot user, even Lunatone at this point, because, I mean, your coverage isn't too bad, I suppose, like Psychic, but yeah, I just think Lunatone's a bit better, but you do have the speed tier to one-up stuff like Basculin, Silver Valley forms, etc., which is pretty good, but yeah, it's just going to face a lot of competition from Beheeyem, to be honest. But moving on to Mr. Mime. Yeah, this won't be NU, but again, this does Nasty Plot, this does Psychic, this does Dazzling Gleam. They still didn't decide to give it freaking Moonblast this gen, which kind of sucks, but is what it is, I suppose. Focus Blast again to hit Steel types, and yeah, Mr. Mime will actually be PU. I don't think Mr. Mime G will be PU just because it's a rapid spinner, it is faster, and Eviolite can be run, so it's actually decently bulky on the special side of things, and also decently on the physical side of things. But yeah, Mr. Mime will be another decent subtle sweeper that this tier will have access to, and yeah, it will be pretty good in my opinion. Filter, I mean, soundproof doesn't really matter. You could stop like Wall Dramper again. I completely missed out Dramper, to be honest. How did I miss out Dramper? I completely missed out Dramper. But quick thing about Dramper, again, it'll just be doing spec set. It's decently bulky. I don't think too much can wall it outside of like Mr. Mime, for example, but Dragon moves will be pretty easy to spam in my opinion. But yeah, that was just a quick thing on Dramper. I completely missed it out, which I'm very upset about. But yeah, moving on to something else that's pretty exciting as well, we have Ninjask. And Ninjask, heavy duty boots is Ninjask like present this generation. Being able to not get hit by Stealth Rock anymore means a whole lot because of the Swords Dance set. I mean, it's still getting walled by Steel types unless you run like Dig or something, but again, the lack of Steel types I'm seeing in this tier out of Berserker and potentially some other stuff like Clang, for example. Ninjask kind of goes uncontested. You could, I was going to say run Acrobatics, but you have heavy duty boots, so that's a bit redundant. U-turn as well on banded sets. I mean, banded Ninjask, or you could just go heavy duty boots U-turn, for example, Adamant Nature, just to pivot in on a lot of stuff. Being the fastest one in the game has its, you know, benefits, a whole lot of benefits, because you just outspeed a whole lot. And yeah, Ninjask is actually going to look good this generation. But yeah, Noctowl, again, it'll have tinted lens when it comes back, and it has Nasty Plot, guys. I can't wait for Home to come out, because Nasty Plot, Hurricane, Heat Wave. Are you seeing this? Are you actually seeing this? This is disgusting. Disgusting, disgusting, disgusting. It also has agility as well, so double dance into Hurricane Heat Wave. Like, what's stopping that? Like, what's actually stopping that? Like, Noctowl is going to be a very, very, very big threat, in my opinion. Very, very big. Now, you could either run Timid, obviously, to get the jump on. +2 gets 5 2-4 speed, which is just below the likes of base 110 Scarfers that you could potentially see, such as Raichu, for example. But being able to outspeed stuff like Scarf Main, I don't know what else is running Scarf that is that fast, but the faster thing you outspeed is Scarf Main, which is pretty good. And you outspeed the entire unboosted metagame. So yeah, Noctowl is going to be a huge threat. Heavy duty boots, tinted lens. This is what it's going to do when Home comes out, and it'll just be like, we have a lot of good setup sweepers now. Like, definitely, like, Noctowl is actually a huge threat now. Now, Octillery. I mean, it's always had such an amazing move pool, but was just really bad speed to let it down. I mean, on Trick Room, you could potentially run Water Spout, Energy Ball, Fire Blast, Ice Beam. That's all you really need, or even Hydro Pump. But yeah, on Trick Room teams, obviously this is where Octillery will probably have its best niche. Max HP, max attack, quiet with 0 speed EVs, and yeah, it's done. It's done. It's actually done. Octillery's only niche is on Trick Room. Like, won't make it a bad Pokemon per se, because I think Trick Room will actually be a decent playing style yet again. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Even under spikes and whatnot, this thing will just be able to break. So Oranguru, on the other hand, I think someone showed me like a potential Nasty Plot Oranguru set, because I didn't realize it had 60 base speed. Like, that actually makes it decently fast, and it is decently bulky as well. So Nasty Plot into Hyper, it does. What normal stab does it get? What normal stab? Oh, it doesn't get any normal stab. Great. So Psychic Side Shock, obviously, Interlax or Focus Blast and Energy Ball, I suppose, or even Shadow Ball. I don't see what Shadow Ball's hitting, but either way, this is what it's gonna do, and that's what I have to say on Oranguru. It will be a decent one, I guess. Like, nothing that I'm covering looks awful outside of like Cherrim or Delibird, for example. But yeah, everything has a niche, which I'm happy about. Everything has a niche, even if it's a small one like Octillery on Trick Room. Everything has a niche. Now moving on to Berserker. Berserker has Tough Claws and two very good abilities in Tough Claws and Steely Spirit. Tough Claws obviously boosting its contact moves, which all of its moves are contact moves, to be fair. That's a Close Combat, Iron Head, and Heavy Slam. Gunk Shot is not, but I mean, what does Gunk Shot? Do you even need Gunk Shot? That doesn't help you at all. Play Rough, on the other hand, does another contact move, and U-turn. Yes, Berserker is going to be a very dangerous wall breaker. Just base 110 attack with Tough Claws, very, very hard to wall, for example. I mean, Seed Bomb as well is nice to hit like other stuff like Wish Cash, for example. There's no Quagsire or nothing in this tier. Definitely another Trick Room, potential Trick Room attacker, because it's just too slow to get anything done. But pure Steel typing means it's not going to get beat down that easily. On the special side of things, it's just not that bulky, but on the physical side, it will take good 2-3 hits like quite well. Choice Band as well just looks absolutely disgusting. Choice Scarf could be potentially disgusting as well, just to outspeed a lot more other stuff as well. Let's look. If I go, you can go like Speed Plus nature, like 319 attack with Tough Claws is just very strong. Yeah, so you outspeed a good amount with Choice Scarf if you want to run Choice Scarf, and yeah, this one's dangerous. This one is Persian. Again, having a really strong speed tier, but nothing to really abuse it. Really, Nasty Plot sets are just too weak to do anything. I mean, it's like, I'm sorry to say, even Persian's outclassed by the likes of Greedent, for example, and Dubwool, because they actually get stuff done. Persian literally only has the speed tier going for it. Doesn't do any damage. It doesn't really get anything done. But yeah, Pincurchin. Yeah, Pincurchin. I keep saying Churchin, like Pincurchin. We finally get a freaking Electric Terrain set in a lower tier, which I'm very happy about, because it's got good all-around stats, I suppose, outside of speed. But obviously, being able to set up Electric Terrain can help electric types in the tier, like Raichu just go ham. Especially if Raichu got hit by electric type move and has Lightning Rod up, Raichu can become very dangerous. Being able to enable the Unburden Pokemon in the tier, such as Liepard and Feeble, for example, two very similar Pokemon with very similar roles, and a T-Spike and a Spiker that can actually get them up, unless it's gotten taunted, of course. But yeah, either you go Spikes, which I think will be his main niche, obviously, double Spikes, Memento, which is very nice for just getting things on the field, and you could even run an offensive set on Trick Room, even like Banded, Electric Terrain, Zing Zap is going to hurt a lot of things, potential flinches. Pincurchin is a good one, very good one. Puku, I don't really want to talk about Stormon for too long, but we all know what Pukumuku does. Soak, whatever. Like, speaking about Stormon actually just hurts my brain, so I'm not gonna cover Puku that much. But yeah, what I would say we're almost done with this list, guys. I don't want this video to drag on for too long, but yeah, there is a lot to talk about here. I just want to talk about every single one that could be potentially PU. But yeah, Cool Fish, like, I was like thinking Coolfish would just be NU, but again, they say Garbodor is the main spiker. But I mean, if Coolfish just dropped to PU, obviously it has a lot of stuff to do. It sets up spikes. We have good spikers, guys, like good T-Spike and spikers, Destiny Bond shenanigans and Scold, and it's one of, I think it's the fastest spiker we got. I believe the strongest, the fastest we have. Yeah, faster than even Glalie, so it taunts everything below it, and yeah, it can just set up effectively with Intimidate, decent fighting check. So even though we don't even have that much fighting types, to be fair, outside of throwing Grapploct, but yeah, Coolfish does a lot, and I think it'll be good. Now moving on to Raichu, probably gonna be one of our best special attackers without any, like, you know, no one can really doubt Raichu's capabilities right now, just because base 110 speed is pretty damn fast, being able to outspeed a lot of things in the metagame. Obviously, Lightning Rod makes sure that it can just stop stuff like Manectric or any other electric shenanigans, obviously from Pincurchin, for example. Nasty Plot again. Raichu's doing the same thing it's done since, you know, generation like 6 or 4 or whatever it's been doing, from Thunderbolt, Grass Knot. Grass Knot will surf, to be honest. Like, Grass Knot gets the water ground types, which won't be that common regardless, but Surf, Grass Knot, and then Focus Blast just to hit like some other stuff as well. And yeah, Raichu is a huge threat, guys. Very big threat that we have in the tier. And yeah, I think Raichu will be good. Very good. I'm moving on to another electric type that will be pretty good as well, Rotom-Fan, for very good reason as well, because they just handed out Nasty Plots like free Christmas presents, you know, like they gave these Pokemon early Christmas presents in November when they decided to give them Nasty Plot. So S/Slash here, of course, Thunderbolt, of course, Shadow Ball, of course, and yeah, Nasty Plot 3 attacks, and that's set, you know. Being a, yeah, very nice. Levitate, obviously immune to spikes, for example, so it can't get worn down as easily. Heavy Duty Boots could help with the Rock's weakness, obviously. And then max special attack, max speed. Actually has a decent speed tier, being able to outspeed Coolfish by 1 point. And yeah, it won't die in one hit. It just won't, unless it's hit by a super effective attack, which is not going to be too likely because its only weaknesses are Ice, Rock, and what else is Flying weak to? Ice, Rock, and I'm forgetting Pokemon types, guys. I'm forgetting. Rotom S. Ice and Rock. Oh yeah, that's true, because you're not weak to electric anymore. Yeah, so Ice and Rock. Again, Ice resists are not really that common, but again, you know, Heavy Duty Boots helping out its Rock's weakness is highly appreciated. Seeking, on the other hand, again, I don't think this thing is going to be good. Obviously, it's not going to be good because it just gets outclassed by Basculin, for example. But on rain teams, this thing could probably get some work done because it has Swords Dance into Waterfall, Cross Chop, Mega Horn. Really good coverage moves on Seeking here. But yeah, that's all Seeking's niche is going to be. Outside of rain, it's not really doing much because why are you Seeking when you have Basculin? Moving on to Shedinja. Obviously, Shedinja, Heavy Duty Boots means that it's immune to spikes, but unable to run Focus Sash, so Shedinja can die in pretty much one hit. Obviously, you can't EV its HP, it will always have 1 HP. But yeah, again, it will do the same. Swords Dance is illegal, but obviously when Home comes back, it will get Swords Dance yet again into Leech Life, Shadow Sneak, and what do you call it? I mean, Night Slash, I guess. That's all you can really do, to be fair. But yeah, that's all Shedinja is going to get up to. But Heavy Duty Boots is a good way of, because you think of all the priority, guys, that Shedinja, the types that Shedinja is weak to, guys. Dark, Fire, Flying, Ghost, and Rock. Now, outside of all of those, Rock's priority move is literally on Lycanroc, which isn't in the game. Ghost has Shadow Sneak, which will probably come from other Ghost types, and Dark has Sucker Punch, and we don't have that many Dark types or any ones that really have Sucker Punch. So yeah, Shedinja won't have to worry about priority too much, but it is still slow at the end of the day, and if you have a faster one that can beat it down like Rotom or Shadow Ball, Heavy Duty Boots isn't going to help you, you know, live that hit. Only Focus Sash can. So yeah, Shedinja has better tools to work with this gen, but again, it's still quite a niche and not that reliable Pokemon. Now, Shinotic, I can't believe someone actually thought this would be NU. Why would Shiinotic be NU? What does it do in NU? I mean, yeah, decent fighting check, but all the fighting types have stuff to deal with it. Toxicroak has poison type in itself. Sork has, I think Sork gets poison jab, which is freaking 4 times effective against Shiinotic. Is not a good fighting check whatsoever. Grass typing doesn't help it as well, and Pheasant flying around everywhere. Nah, Shiinotic is not doing well whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, Strength Sap again, but speaking of like more viable sets that Shiinotic could effectively run, Choice Specs, what do you call it? Shiinotic with Moonblast, Giga Drain or Energy Ball if you want more power, obviously. Sludge Bomb and Strength Sap, I mean, for more recovery. But yeah, again, probably going to be run on Trick Room, or even outside of Trick Room, no speed, but max HP and max special attack, obviously with a modest nature. But if you're running Trick Room, obviously 0 modest, quiet, min speed. But yeah, guys, we're almost done with the list. Thanks so much if you've been watching or just skipping to Pokemon that you want to hear more about. But yeah, moved on to probably the longest topic of this video, the remaining Silver Valley forms. I won't spend too much time on each Silver Valley form, but I'll summarize a decent set to use on all of them that will be available in the tier, I believe. So Silver Valley normal, obviously being the only Silver Valley to be able to run an item, so this thing will be quite versatile. Obviously, you can run leftovers and life orb, you can run anything on this Silver Valley, which makes it very, very versatile as a normal offensive Pokemon, being probably better than Greedent and Dubwool, for example. So obviously Swords Dance, multi-attack, being 120 base power, very, very threatening with Psychic Fangs and Crunch. Just that's all you need to just work. That's all you need. Obviously being base, you can just live stuff. Silver Valley's bulky enough, Silver Valley's fast enough, Silver Valley hits strong enough. So Silver Valley normal will be a threat to be watching out for. All the Silver Valleys are threats to be watching out for, just because of the multi-attack buff. Multi-attack is just really, really, really strong. And on the other hand, being able to run Choice Scarf as well, with pivoting, with U-turn, multi-attack, potentially Explosion. You have Explosion, base 250 power, stab, so it just hits very hard unless you're Ghost type. Or you could just run multi-attack as well with Crunch and Psychic Fangs, fighting and Ghost types respectively. Now, yeah, that's it for Silver Valley normal. I could have spoken about like another potential set, Specs Silver Valley, with what do you call it, all of these moves, especially like Steel Beam, for example, because I think it does get that. Steel Beam? Don't get Steel? Yeah, it does. So like, it's just the possibilities for Silver Valley normal would be very interesting. Silver Valley Bug, on the other hand, again, I mean, you can just run. You can run SD. All of them can just run SD. Like, I don't want to spend too much time on all of the Silver Valley available forms, but I'll say this: Silver Valley normal, Silver Valley Bugs, Silver Valley Dark, potentially Electric, Fighting, Fire, Flying, Grass, Ground, Ice, potentially Poison, Psychic, Rock and Water, can all effectively run Swords Dance sets and just completely mess teams up, just thanks to their really high speed tier, good bulk and decent attack stat. Now, moving on to Skuntank, again, Silver Valley normal was the only one to kind of spend a bit more time on, because it's able to actually run an item, so you know there's a lot more possibilities to be done with this Pokemon. But yeah, Skuntank, I don't know why this wasn't on the list, because maybe when default comes out, it'll get enough usage to be NU. But if you think about it, because they increased the amount of what do you call it, usage required to stay in a tier, it went up from it went to 4.52 from 3.41, so much higher percentage to be used in a certain tier. And I don't think Skuntank will actually reach those levels of usage in NU, so yeah, that's why I put on my list. Now, interestingly enough, again, Skuntank will get Defog when Home comes out, so it'll be a reliable Defogger. Sucker Punch again, but losing Pursuit, which was Skuntank's main niche back in Gen 7, kind of sucks for it, because with the Ghost types coming around, they can easily just swap out and Skuntank can't really get anything done. But a more interesting thing I would like to talk about is obviously Nasty Plot now being on available to special Skuntank sets, so Dark Pulse, Fire Blast, and that's a Sludge Bomb for stab, makes Skuntank very, very dangerous. very dangerous. So yeah, Nasty Plot sets could get used, and yeah, Skuntank, I am liking Skuntank right now. Okay guys, we're almost done. I mean, we have Solrock to talk about and just a couple more Pokemon, alongside some viable NFE Pokemon I think will be viable, and then the video will be done. I really thank you guys for watching this video. If you're still here and just hearing me speak about all these Pokemon, I highly appreciate it. But yeah, Solrock now. Solrock got SD like his counterpart got Nasty Plot, so Stone Edge, Edgequake is given. Flare Blitz as well, and Solrock is set to just break things. So yeah, that as well, alongside the fact that it could potentially run rocks as well, set a Trick Room and explode, doing like Carbink style and whatnot. With 0 min speed, you get around a Brave Nature 130, which isn't too bad. I mean, you're not particularly slow, like, because there's a lot of slower monsters that can set up, like Dusknoir, for example, which again I'll speak about in this video as well. But yeah, that's what Solrock could potentially do in this tier. Now Stunjourner. When you look at Stunjourner, you don't believe that this mon has 70 base speed. Like, it just looks too fast for literally lumps of rock. But either way, Stunjourner, I've been a fan of this mon since I've seen it, to be honest. It just looks cool, and its stat distribution, honestly amazing. 100 HP, 125 attack, 135 defense, 70 base speed, which is honestly too fast for a mon like this, with abysmal special side of things. So, but unfortunately Stunjourner does not have an ability, but this only works in doubles, so, and we're talking about singles here, so yeah. Focus Sash, I've seen people use this set when I face them. Stealth Rock, again another suicide. These Stealth Rock, Stone Edge, Earthquake, Body Press. You can actually afford to run Body Press with a superpower, for example, because you actually have a really high defense stat. A really high defense stat. So you can go max speed, max attack with Adamant Nature to hit as hard as possible. 383 attack. Stunjourner can also just be like an offensive one to run, for example. It has Heavy Slam as well, if you're not running rocks as well. But this is just the lead Stunjourner set that I could you guys could use when PU comes out. Now Stunfisk-G, they still didn't decide to give it Volt Switch this gen, which kind of sucks. But either way, Stunfisk-G again doesn't really have an ability as well unless you're utilizing terrains. But either way, Steel Ground typing is decent enough with good enough bulk to just run either max defense or max special defense sets, obviously. And then you have stuff with Stealth Rock, obviously. You have Scald, which is good enough, I suppose. Scald is good enough. What else can this thing run? T-Wave as well, just to spread status as well. And yeah, just being bulky enough. Shame you don't have reliable recovery, but I mean, it is what it is, I suppose. And then a potential other set you could run, which won't be the most viable, obviously, but have you seen, like, it's like you could run max special attack, modest Steel Beam. You know, like Steel Beam is a very strong move, very strong move. You can run Choice Specs and just break things, I suppose. Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave. Special move pool isn't the best, but I mean, Steel Beam, it's just gonna use it twice and it's just gonna be strong. Or unless you want to run Flash Cannon, for example. So that's it for Stunfisk-G. Sudowoodo, again, another mon that completely has no business being used whatsoever, because that class as a rocker by pretty much Stunjourner and everything else that can set up rocks, like I mentioned, Lunatone, Solrock, Mawile, for example. Yeah, Sudowoodo has no business being used, but Rockhead Head Smash, I mean. But why would I use this over Stunjourner? This is just a worse Stunjourner. It just is. Like, Sudowoodo sucks. Really bad. Don't use Sudowoodo. Swoobat, another Pokemon that will benefit when Pokemon Home comes out. Obviously, simple when that gets released, plus Nasty Plot, and Swoobat just becomes one of the most dangerous Pokemon in like PE. Straight up, base 114 speed. Like, Swoobat is awfully strong, very strong. All you need is Nasty Plot and this, and you're set. You are set. Like, when this one comes out, like, it might have to get banned. Like, really, I don't see anything being able to stop Swoobat from sweeping, to be honest. Heavy Duty Boots could probably help. Like, you don't even need Life Orb, just simple nasty plot and you're set. Like, Swoobat will be one of the best Pokemon, in my opinion, potentially ban worthy. Now Feeble, people will just be like, why use Feeble when Liepard exists? Liepard is faster, Liepard slightly has literally one Spatak higher, but it's mostly the speed that people speak about with Liepard and the Prankster that will eventually get when Pokemon Home comes out. But Feeble, again, has its own benefits over Liepard as well. They're not the bulkiest Pokemon, but Feeble can at least take special attacks much better than Liepard. But Liepard is just overall much more frailer. Again, Electric Seed under Pincurchin's, Electric Terrain with Nasty Plot, Dark Pulse, Psychic, and Grass Knot. I mean, your special move pool isn't the best, but this is what you have been given, so you shall use it. Psychic, of course, hits fighting types that will resist your stab. Grass Knot is just coverage, I suppose. But yeah, Feeble with +2 is able to just outspeed the entire tier, but just because its speed is pretty high. But yeah, that's it for Feeble. We'll face competition with Liepard definitely when Home comes out and Liepard has Prankster and whatnot. But yeah, Feeble isn't too behind Liepard in my opinion. Now Throw, the lower power level just makes me think, will Throw actually be too strong for this tier? Because if you look at things, Throw can bulk up, Throw can rest, sleep, talk, and whatever, and just go for max special defense or circle Throw. Like, phasing Throw with spikes up with the lack of hazard control options makes Throw look very dangerous for a certain amount of reasons. Now, Throw is much better than Grapploct, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Like, Throw is much better than Grapploct for, like, you know, higher defenses, higher HP, higher speed. Like, Throw is a better Grapploct, and yeah, Throw is very dangerous. Trevenant. I've been waiting to speak about this Pokemon because, again, it's not too bad, I suppose. Like, it's one of the more offensive ghost types that can actually get stuff done. Choice Band Woodhammer with Natural Cure just hits like a truck for certain reasons. Earthquake, it just has the coverage to get things done, and I think Trevenant will be a decent decent offensive like mon with a ghost type. It's not afraid of dark types anymore thanks to Pursuit. Now Vespiquen, again, when Home comes out and it gets Defog, it will be one of our better Defoggers, but we'll get Roost back, but losing Heal Order, I don't know why they got rid of Heal Order. What was the point of getting rid of Heal Order? Because if it did have Roost, this thing would be finished. It would be finished. At least it still kept Toxic, but it would be finished. Like, there was no way of saving Vespiquen, honestly. But Heavy Duty Boots can now be run, and it won't get hit by, rocks. Pressure obviously just PP stores a lot of stuff, and yeah, Vespiquen is decently bulky enough to get things done as a hazard removal option. And yeah, we're almost done with the list, guys. And speaking of Wailord, another Pokemon that can just PP store, but again, outclassed by Wishy-Washy, outclassed by Basculin, outclassed by every other water type that has been mentioned in this video. Again, even Octillery, Wailord is just too slow to get anything done, not particularly strong, doesn't have the coverage that Octillery has, for example. And yeah, I mean, the best thing this thing can do is, like, did it even keep Whirlpool? It kept Whirlpool, PP stalling, I guess. I don't really care about that set, to be honest, because it's just not that viable, to be honest. Whiscash, Dragon Dance, obviously. Oblivious, being immune to Intimidate and Taunt means Whiscash can easily just set up on things that it can set up on. For example, you can go for Stone Edge or Bounce. Did it keep Bounce? Yeah, it kept Bounce just so you're not walled by Bellossom, for example, and other grass types. But I mean, you can easily just pair Whiscash with a teammate that can easily deal with grass type, Silver Valley Fire, any fire type, any flying type in the tier, Noctowl, and yeah, Whiscash can get stuff done with its Dragon Dance set. It's not the fastest mon in the world, and it can easily get revenge killed by Scarf Silver Valley, Scarf. I mean, Scarf Maniac can't even beat Whiscash anymore because of freaking losing Hidden Power Grass. Like, that's actually just funny. But yeah, once its checks have been removed, Whiscash can definitely be a more threatening Dragon Dancer and is much better than freaking Lapras as a Dragon Dancer. Now Wishy-Washy, as I've mentioned, much better than Wailord. Again, another Trick Room Pokemon that will get stuff done because it just hits very, very, very hard. Like, look at, like, Wishy-Washy stats are just very high. Specs on what do you call it? Specs on Trick Room obviously just does a lot of damage. You could even run physical as well because it has a physical move pool to get things done. U-turn, waterfall, even no liquidation even. I think got liquidation this gen, which is pretty nice. And yeah, this thing will be like under, you know, Trick Room obviously because it's just too slow to get anything else done. And yeah, you can just run that. Quiet nature, and yeah, your speed, you're under tying with Shinotic. So yeah, the last three Pokemon were water types, which is, but yeah, and the last video of all Pokemon that will probably be PU is Wobbuffet, and this is bad, so we're not talking about this now. Moving on to potential NFEs that could be viable in the PU tier for several reasons. Carkol, for example, people have already jumped on the Carkol train because number one, it's a rapid spinner, number two, it sets up rocks, and number three, it sets up spikes. So yeah, and is decently bulky if you give it an Eviolite. But my problem with Carkol is this typing just sucks. Like, Rock Fire is not a good defensive typing whatsoever. 4 times weak to ground, 4 times weak to water, weak to fighting, weak to rocks even. So yeah, and you can't even afford to run heavy duty boots because you just won't be as bulky without Eviolite. But yeah, forgot to mention it can Will-O-Wisp as well. So this thing could be a good blanket check to physical attackers in the tier. Obviously losing to Basculin on the 1v1 is very, very bad. Speaking of, Basculin will be probably one of the best wall breakers in the tier, and you're 4 times weak to water. But I mean, Carkol will probably get things done just because of its niches of spinning, setting up rocks, and setting up spikes. Now Dusknoir again, I always hate Dusknoir because it's just too passive. It doesn't get anything done, and it just sits there and Will-O-Wisp and does nothing. But again, it will be viable because of the lower power level, and its bulk will be heavily appreciated. Eviolite, obviously, is weak to knockoff, and the knockoff distribution will probably come back yet again. But yeah, Dusknoir will be a mon that will get used regardless. Now, moving on to Fracture, another Dragon Dance mon, another setup sweeper that the tier would appreciate because it just hits really hard. Dragon Dance with Outrage and Poison Jab, and what else does Fracture run? Superpower, I guess? Superpower? Or Stomping Tantrum to, what do you call it? If only you got Earthquake, man. If it got Earthquake, then Steel types wouldn't be fearing this at all. But either way, Fracture will be doing Dragon Dance. You could also potentially run a Fracture set with Choice Band because it got first impression, so it can revenge things quite, you know, nicely. Or even just like Eviolite, just max attack, like a break in the Fracture set. Swords Dance as well. Again, Fracture is kind of versatile in what it can do. Heatmor. Heatmor is a magic bouncer and it can stop hazards quite easily. It's bulky enough with Eviolite to be a decent physical wall, and unfortunately it's weak to knockoff, and Eviolite, it will hurt Heatmor a lot, but I still think you can get some things done. They use it in NFE a lot and it's decently bulky enough. So Machoke as well. Machoke, we're not getting Girder this gen. As much as I would like to have Girder in PU, it's not going to be in PU or stay in RU or NU at the most this entire generation. But we're left with Machoke now, which can obviously run Flame Orb Guts or Eviolite Guts, No Guard Dynamic Punch. It will just do the same thing it's been doing for however long, to be honest, and it'll be a decent mon as a fighting type, being like one of the only offensive fighting types that isn't particularly slow. I mean, your speed time will Throw, but Throw isn't as offensive as Machoke. No God Dynamic Punch, even after the confusion nerfs, is still going to be annoying to deal with. Now, Morgrem was put on this list as well, and I somewhat agree with Morgrem because again, it's a screener with access to Prankster, obviously. But I mean, you could choose to run Light Clay, to be honest, if you're running dual screens and just help your teammates do stuff, or you could choose to run Eviolite Nasty Plot, which I've tried in NFE. It has base 75 special attack, which isn't too bad, I guess. You have Dark Pulse and Dazzling Gleam as your stabs, and then, I mean, that's all you really have going for you, to be fair. Probably not the best set to run. Dual screens is pretty much going to be Morgrem's only, niche, to be honest. Type Null, Again, can't forget about Type Null. This thing is just too fat. Very, very fat. It's never dying in one hit. And I mean, usage on Machoke is probably going to rise, or fighting type just Type Null, because very annoying. Very, very annoying. Machoke has knockoff to deal with heavy light stuff, and then Type Null just gets killed by close combat. But yeah, Type Null is going to be one of our best tanks for certain reasons. Might actually get suspect tested down the line. I'm just predicting, but not too many stuff can break Type Null. Not a lot. I mean, it has rest as its only recovery, but I mean, easy to set up on, to be fair, because I mean, base 95 attack, like you can actually do decent damage to like stuff with like double edge, for example. But other than that, yeah, Type Null is going to be a tank. But yeah, Togetic. I mean, Togetic is getting defog again and Roost again when home comes back, so it'll be a decent hazard removal control. It's a bit too passive for my liking, so stuff like Noctowl and other defoggers will most likely outclass Togetic, but it's still something to consider, obviously. Lightning G will be the second to last Pokemon I'll be talking about. People actually think this will be NU, but it's too weak. Way too weak to get anything done in NU. There's stuff like Salt there. I mean, this thing can knock off, like, is a Scarfer, doesn't even get U-turn, and it lost Belly Drum and stuff. So I mean, I don't think this thing will be good in PU, to be honest. People will still find a way to use it. The last one that I'll talk about for this video to end off is Pawniard. And Pawniard, again, lost knockoff, but when home comes out, it'll get it back. SD sets probably make a return, Sucker Punch, for example. And yeah, Pawniard will return in glory to just mess some stuff up, and yeah, it will be heavily appreciated. Now guys, we have finally finished this video, guys. I hope if you didn't even stay to the end, I don't blame you. This video was a bit long, but if you did stay to the end to listen to this video, I thank you guys very much for that. Highly appreciated. Leave a like down below if you guys did enjoy the video. I will paste bin to the potential ones I believe will be PU in the description, so you guys know ones, like if you just didn't like check. I'll leave timestamps as well, so you guys can just see like what ones you're interested in like hearing about and whatnot. But yeah, not to let this video drag on any longer, but yeah, yet again guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.